Chicago Bears handled the New Orleans Saints 26-14 on the lakefront today. We're going to go ahead and recap it all on Claws Up, Bear Down. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Claws. This is where we dive deep into all things Chicago Bears football, including this W over the Saints. What a win it was. How great is it that the Bears are on a 4-game winning streak right now? Feels really good. After going 0-2 to have the Bears be 4-2 right now in this moment. Didn't believe it at the time, and now it is awesome, and the Bears are winning on a streak. Streaking, baby. There were a lot of great storylines going into this game. You had Spencer Rattler versus Caleb Williams, the former teammates now playing each other. You also had Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears, playing against his old team in the New Orleans Saints, who he was the head coach for before. It was a wonderful game. And this morning when I woke up, it was raining down, it was gross outside, and it was really windy. I wasn't quite sure how it would affect the game, if it would affect the kicking game, but by the time the game actually started, it was nice out. It wasn't too bad. A little windy, but it wasn't rainy, so it didn't really have all that much effect on the game itself. If you love that the Bears are on a 4-game winning streak, go ahead and hit that like button for me. I think that the Bears have finally found an identity to Ben Johnson's team. It feels like they're really starting to get in the groove. From Monday night with a win to Sunday today, they believe in what they are doing and who they are as a football team, and it feels familiar. I don't know if it's good or if it's bad, but it feels really familiar, and it's because the identity is defense and rushing attack. Yes, the defense is balling, and the rushing attack is attacking, and it has been a crazy last 2 games for the Chicago Bears. On both of those sides, the defense is making turnovers left and right like they are a bakery. Excuse me, those are takeaways. That's what great defenses do. They take it away. They don't make turnovers. They make takeaways. They create opportunities to make takeaways, and that's what that Bears defense did today. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4 more takeaways today for the Chicago Bears defense, including 3 interceptions of Spencer Rattler and a forced fumble by Montez Sweat. It really feels like Dennis Allen and the defense have found their groove. They understand who they are. Dennis Allen is putting them in positions to be successful. It's what the Bears need to have happen. They need to find ways to be successful with the people that are on their team already, and the defense is balling. They were suffocating at times today. They were able to get after the quarterback. They were able to intercept the quarterback. They were able to stop the rushing attack. They had multiple Pro Bowler Alvin Kamara out there, and he only rushed for 28 yards. They had 44 total yards in rushing. The Bears were terrible at defending the run to start the year. And to get a running back like Alvin Kamara and hold him to 28 yards is a giant win in its own right. But then when you look at the 3 interceptions and the crazy game by some of these guys, like listen to the stat line. Tremaine Edmonds, 9 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass breakup, and 1 QB hit. Love it, Tremaine. Great job, stud. You look at Montez Sweat's stat line, 4 total tackles, 4 solo tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 QB hits, and I think he had a forced fumble in there as well. Incredible Montez Sweat. Kyler Gordon, same stat line essentially as Montez Sweat. 4 total, 4 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 QB hit. And I think that they're just really showing that they know how to play football together. They're being put in the right positions to win. Al Harris has those defensive backs playing at a really high level right now. And it's a lot of fun to watch that defense fly their own ball. Kyler Gordon is making a difference. You can tell that they also miss TJ Edwards. It just feels more concise now. Is the defensive emergence sustainable? This upcoming weekend, we're going to find out how good the defense is against the Baltimore Ravens. But so far, these last couple games, they've really stepped up. Stopping Dallas's attack, which has been potent all over the field. Having Jane Daniels be held within check and not being able to dominate the game. Being able to get all these takeaways they've had has been incredible. It feels good to have such a defense that has takeaways, and it just feels like Chicago Bears football. Doesn't it? Doesn't it just feel like the team that you're supposed to be rooting for, the team you've been rooting for your whole life? I don't know if that's good or bad yet, but it is what it is. And then we'll get to that next. Has Ben Johnson created an identity with this football team? Are they a defense that is suffocated and can get takeaways? And do they have a rushing attack that can run that ball down your throat and really cause defenses to be on the field for long periods of time and long stretches. The last 2 games say that's the identity of the defense. And it's completely the different identity than I expected before the season. We would have said that it would have been high flying, a lot of trick plays, and that the Bears would have been able to score points through the air. But it's the rushing attack, and it's the defense that's really having the biggest effect in the game. It feels right. It feels like Chicago Bears football. We all expected it was going to be a different game, a different team, a different vibe. But it's not. It's the same team. They're just better, way better. And it's something that we can really grasp onto as a city. We love great defense, and we love a rushing attack. It isn't a negative thing on the passing attack. The passing attack hasn't blossomed the way we thought it would. We thought Ben Johnson was going to come in here and make them a high-flying team. They're not. They're a gritty, grimy team, but they're scoring points. Only team in the NFL to score over 21 points for all their games. They scored 26 again today. 25 last week, 25 the week before the bye. So they're putting points on the board. So it's not about just ball control. It's about actually putting the ball in the end zone and scoring points. And today they were able to do that. Both Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift got touchdowns today. DeAndre Swift, let's look at these back-to-back games. DeAndre Swift, this game in rushing, had 124 yards rushing. Kyle Monangai had 81 yards rushing for 222 total yards, with everyone included. Roshan even got the ball going 1 for 11 yards. Rushing attack is all over the place. This feels like a two-headed monster all of a sudden. And it's because the offensive line is playing together, and they're able to get the ball moving. They're able to dominate the line of scrimmage. You don't ever hear anything negative about Joe Thuney going on. There's no penalties. It's all positive. Today, the negative on the offensive line, I would say, is the snaps between Caleb Williams and Drew Dalman. I don't know what's going on there. I can't explain why they can't figure that game out. That seems like basic, rudimentary NFL stuff, elementary stuff. Things that shouldn't happen in the NFL. Drew Dalman was one of the best centers in the game last year, came over, free agent, top free agent center in the league. This shouldn't be happening in the NFL. It happened on the first drive. Stall the drive out. They have to figure out that relationship to have that ball snapped and not be an issue. But 2 times it happened. 2 times. Now, could it have been the weather? Sure. But they're professional athletes, and they need to be held to a high standard, and that stuff is inexcusable. We can't be having that. They have to find a way to get better at that relationship. Other than that, the offensive line played great. You can't thank Eric Bieniemy enough. DeAndre Swift looks like a different player this year. It could be, I think it's a factor of a lot. It could be the scheme. It could be how he's rushing. It could be the new offensive lineman. It could be Ben Johnson. It could be it all. But it's awesome to watch right now. DeAndre Swift is balling, absolutely balling. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. When your good gets better and your better gets best, I love Ben Johnson. Good, better, best. And this team is buying into what is going on in Hallis Hall. It's obvious because right now, the way they are talking, they're not concerned about individual success. They're concerned about winning. And that is Ben Johnson's culture. And that's the coaches he brought in. Dennis Allen looks like the comeback coach of the year, defensive coach of the year right now. I think that for Ben Johnson, he has to figure out how they can start using this rushing attack to open up the passing game and how to solve the problems of it. Because we can look at it as Bear fans and you can open your eyes and say, Caleb Williams did not have that great of a game today. And it's okay to say that. He was 15 of 26 for 172 yards for a 6.6 average with 1 interception, no touchdowns, 1 sack, a 19.8 QBR, and a 61.7 rating. That's not good, especially when you look at Rattler. Rattler had 3 interceptions, and he had a QBR of 30.5 and a rating of 66.3. But the Bears are winning without Caleb playing out of his mind, which should take the pressure off of Caleb Williams and allow him to play better. But if I would have said in August that the Bears are going to be 4-2 and Caleb Williams isn't playing that well, you all would have been shocked. So would I have. But the Bears are finding a way to win. And that quality in a team is more important than anything else. And it's Ben Johnson's culture that's getting the Bears there. It's finding the identity of stalwart defense and rushing attack. But this team after the bye is better. It seems like this coaching staff found and self-scouted ways to get better on almost every aspect of their game except for the passing attack so far. And so you're telling me they can get the passing attack going, this team isn't a playoff contender? I believe they are in playoff contention now. And I think the expectation should be, as a Chicago Bears faithful, that they get into the playoffs. So what do we know? We know that the Bears need to get better at the passing attack. We know the defense can create takeaways. Is it sustainable to have 4 takeaways a game? Probably not. But right now you ride that wave. At least you can hope for 1 or 2 a game. You get 4 again? Sure. I mean, Lamar might pass it away this weekend. So we know that, and we know the rushing game, the rushing attack is getting a lot better. My final thing I want to talk about is that Luther Burton III has to start getting the ball more. Period. Enough is enough. This experiment with Zacchaeus is cool. I'm really happy that Zacchaeus and Caleb have a good relationship. But when we look at Zacchaeus had 2 receptions for 9 yards compared to Burton's 1 for 21. Why is Burton not getting more touches? Why aren't you finding excuses for him to get more touches? He is a dynamic playmaker, and it feels like the breakout game's coming at some point. It wasn't today, and there wasn't a lot of passing offense today, but Luther Burton III's time is coming. And if Ben Johnson can get this passing attack with Caleb Williams at the helm under control, or at least serviceable to the point of really making the play action pass an effective strategy for the team, this team is a dangerous, dangerous team. And I can tell you this, I believe that teams don't want to play this defense. There's no way you can look at these games and say, yeah, the defense isn't that good. And I think you look back at the Dallas game is really the game where we look at it and go, they held that team that's scoring a lot of points on everyone to only 26 points. It would be okay. That team, the defense is good, real good. And that's the identity going forward. Rushing attack and defensive prowess. Monsters of the Midway are back. So do you think the Bears are finally turning the corner? What grade would you give Caleb Williams on his game against the New Orleans Saints? Go ahead and subscribe to Claws Up, Bear Down, where we dive deep into all things Chicago Bears football. And if you want to go ahead and watch another video, check this one out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Claws up, bear down.